Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because finally the Microsoft Activision deal is over. Finally, this has been going on for almost 2 years and this drama is actually initially what helped me start my channel. And it's finally done, thank God. But wanna know what isn't done? The salt mines. We were just mining the other day and we discovered a huge chunk of salt. This one might take a few weeks for us to get through completely. Because as to be expected, PlayStation Fanboys are in absolute denial right now. And while I don't think this video will be very long, I'll probably have some bigger videos coming in the future. Twitter salt tends to happen immediately, and then video salt tends to take a little bit longer. So yes, I will likely cover Dreamcast Sky, but it won't be until a few days from now. But until then, Twitter has provided us plenty of salt. And we're gonna take a look at a few tweets from the past day. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this. Oh boy, it's Saltiest Gaming. You know what? Just roll the clip.
He's fat!
I'm sorry, I know that's Frit's thing, but I love that clip so much. Please, Daddy Frit, forgive me. Anyway, let's go ahead and just read this tweet. To celebrate Microsoft's acquisition of Activision, here's a quote from the late Steve Jobs. And then it's the typical quote, you know, oh, Microsoft doesn't have any originality or whatever. All I have to say is, dude, imagine using a quote from Apple, especially after what's happened recently with the iPhone 15. Arguably their worst phone launch ever. And what's extra hilarious to me is that he's using an Apple quote where Steve Jobs is calling out unoriginality. This aged so poorly because Apple was innovating pretty much up through the iPhone 6, and the 6, 7, and 8 were very similar phones with slight differences. Then with the 10 there was obviously that change because, you know, no home button and Face ID and stuff. But ever since the 10 came out in 2017, they have been basically re-releasing it every year with minor improvements here and there. I mean, last year my 10 was on the way out, so I upgraded to a 13. And the only difference I can really notice is the fact that instead of the edges being curved like it was for like the 6 and the 7, they've gone back to the more blocky structure of the 4 and the 5. So using a quote from Apple to call out unoriginality is just not the best idea. Also, yes, please talk to me about unoriginality when there's rumors and leaks circulating that we might be getting a remaster of The Last of Us 2, and Factions is most likely going to be canceled. But either way, let's continue on. Oh god, it's the Red Dragon, alright. Congrats, new layoffs will happen, prices will rise, history shows quality will decline massively, but at least Xbox fans can play all these games they could already play. And then a screenshot of the quote which says that Microsoft could spend Sony out of business. New layoffs will happen. I wonder why that is. It's almost like when you buy a new company with 10,000 employees, you have to lay people off because you can't keep paying all of them. It's unfortunate that people get laid off, and I wish nothing but the best for them, but that's just how it goes. And it's hilarious that he's tweeting this given that Sony has just laid off a bunch of Naughty Dog employees recently. And when they bought Deviation Games, they immediately laid off a bunch of people there. But no, we won't talk about that, will we? And as for prices rising, do I even need to say anything? Sony was one of the first companies to start doing $70 games. And if you're referring to Game Pass, then honestly, if every Activision game is gonna be on Game Pass, I think I'm okay with a small price increase. The amount of value day and date Call of Duty would add is insane. God, I feel like I need to keep a safe distance from this tweet. Y'all know what secondhand smoking is, right? I feel like I would get that effect from this tweet. Secondhand coping, I'll call it. Alrighty, next tweet. Good night, folks. Xbox will forever buy dead last in gaming and reviled by hardcore gamers and gaming enthusiasts worldwide. Hashtag Japan hates Xbox. Well, in terms of console sales, yeah, Xbox is probably always gonna be last. But who are the hardcore gamers that you're referring to who will constantly hate on Xbox? If by hardcore gamers you mean ponies, then yes, I agree. You guys will never stop hating on Xbox for whatever reason. Then again, his name is literally just Japan hates Xbox, so what am I expecting? Clearly too much, that is the answer. Alrighty, next one. Funny how this 70 billion acquisition will be forgotten next week when Spider-Man 2 drops.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
You are wrong, good sir. Incorrect, even. Now, do I think that PlayStation gamers should be focusing on Spider-Man 2 instead of the acquisition that another company is making? Yes, I do think that. But you ponies are never going to do that. I guarantee after Spider-Man 2 comes out, we're going to be seeing tweets, which instead of just talking about how great the game is, sharing clips, or just talking about what you like, the game will be used as ammo against games like Starfield and Forza Motorsport. And I guarantee people will say, amazing how people have already forgotten the Activision deal now that Spider-Man 2 is out. Ironically, in the process, reminding people of the Activision deal and proving that even when a huge PlayStation game comes out, the first thing on their mind is Xbox, because that's how rent-free that company lives in their heads. It's genuinely kind of disturbing and sad how obsessed these people are. I mean, I understand loving gaming and all that, but this is like an unhealthy negative obsession with something. And trust me, bro, once Call of Duty drops in Game Pass, I think people will remember this acquisition. You know, it's not like it's the biggest acquisition in technology history. Not just gaming, but all technology. Alright, anyways, we're gonna get into the final tweet, and I guess I'll give my closing thoughts on the whole deal. Here we go. CS2 launch trailer, 220,000 likes. Xbox announcing they own Acti Blizzard, 40,000 likes. CS2 is bigger than the Xbox brand. Yes, no better way to judge which brand is bigger than based off of Twitter likes. Forget the fact that the tweet that CSGO made has been out since the 27th of September and the Xbox tweet was just made. CS2 got more likes than Xbox. I guess that automatically means that it's bigger. Damn, Microsoft, I guess there's only one thing left to do now. And no, it's not shut down, it's to buy Valve. I'm obviously kidding. And I guess this is kind of a good segue into me giving my final thoughts on this whole situation. Because like I said earlier, this situation is actually what allowed me to start my channel. My first ever video was made in January 2022, and it was talking about the amazing Lucas coping over Microsoft buying Activision. So obviously this deal has a special place in my heart for that reason, but damn am I glad this whole thing is over. It's mentally exhausting trying to keep up with all this, and it's annoying to keep having more news brought up constantly. And then don't even get me started when the FTC lost the court case and then still tried to appeal afterwards. I mean, that situation was hilarious, but it gets annoying after a while. And honestly, I am very positive about the future of this acquisition, not just because of Game Pass, but also because even before Microsoft acquired Activision, we were already seeing positive changes made. More and more Activision games are coming to Steam, and all the servers for the old Call of Duty games, at least on Xbox, were fixed. Hopefully they fixed them on PC and PS4 as well. Like, that was actually insane when that happened. And honestly, I'm not gonna get into the whole thing about reviving dead IPs or anything, because the only Activision games I've played have really been Call of Duty, and I guess Skylanders when I was younger, and I guess technically they published Destiny 2, so that as well. But the main thing I'm excited about is we have seen such a turnaround with Halo Infinite recently. Season 5 looks absolutely amazing, and it's thanks to the new leadership. So genuinely, I think Xbox could do a lot of good for Call of Duty. If they replace the leadership with people who actually give a damn, or even if they keep the same leadership but start cracking down on them, it'll do a ton of good for the games. And not to mention, Bobby Kotick is finally leaving. Thank Christ that crumpled paper bag of a human being is leaving. And I was watching Griffin's video on this topic, and I'm gonna kind of steal this point, but he was absolutely correct in my opinion that Xbox is pretty much too big to fail at this point. Even if they do stop making consoles, I mean, come on, they have all the Xbox game studios and Activision and Bethesda. Even if they stop making consoles, I don't think they'll ever truly leave the gaming space. And I'm definitely very excited to see what they end up doing. Again, given all the good that's happened so far without them even owning Activision, I think everything will work out for the better. So yeah, with all that being said, that's gonna do it for this video. Apologies there wasn't a whole lot of salt to cover. I'm sure a lot of you know by now, but I'm not on Twitter, so people have just been sending me these screenshots, and I'm very thankful to everybody who's helped out. But never fear, Dreamcast guy made his video. JTech is definitely gonna stream about this at some point, and I can only imagine what the amazing Lucas has waiting for us. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.